to show off how good you are, because Kolkata is where you get the best audiences and the best appreciation. So, Off the Cuff is now here at Kolkata. The Print is very happy to be here, and happier still to have a very unusual governor in a very challenging position. Dhankar sir, did you ever think governor's job was so challenging?
No, sir, you are assuming. It is not challenging for me at all.
I see.
I welcome you first to the city of joy, and I'm happy to note all that Kapil Dev said. I'm relishing it. and I think I came here at the right time with those credentials that have been indicated. But let me tell you, I must have done something great during this lifetime and the earlier one, to be governor of the state of West Bengal. The Print is here for the first time. I happen to be a governor, first one born in independent India.
Kya baat hai?
I'll tell you the circumstances. It was 20th of July. What is most feared is a warrant.
Right.
I got input. The president has issued a warrant against a senior advocate. And that on a day I was about to celebrate the birthday of my wife, 20th of July. Then a friend called me, sir, not only your wife's birthday, Neil Armstrong landed on moon 50 years ago. So I thought then the day has been well chosen by the Honorable President or someone else. When I took oath on 30th of July, that was another great day in my life. I was married for 30 years as senior advocate and 40 years in the profession. And my marriage with my wife was also 40 years old.
Kya baat hai?
Now, Shekharji, you know legal profession. You have many friends in the legal profession who are so well known. Legal profession is known as the jealous mistress. On 30th of July, the jealous mistress that gave a challenge to my wife was dead. So she had complete freedom. So for the first time, me and my wife have had a freedom unknown to us anywhere else in India. So this is a place me and my wife really love. Highly cultured place. You cannot have a geographical land anywhere in India that is culturally so rich, full of grace. Of course, there are challenges, but they are in every walk of life.
So what does the governor do in our system?
I'll tell you. There is a serious confusion as to what the governor does. I wouldn't say it's out of ignorance.
So about some governors there is.
No.
About what they do and why they do it.
No, we have had governors over last several decades who have made history. There have been commissions indicating what the governor should be doing, should not be doing. There have been judgments also. But if you examine Article 159, the oath that I have taken, and I would appeal to everyone to keep that in mind, because I have been saying, and I am saying to one of the finest journalists in the country, with a spine unknown to most, sir, if I have crossed any limit, spell out today, and that will be a final judgment on me. Article 159 says, the governor of a state will protect Indian Constitution, number one. The second, which is normally not known and often forgotten by those in power on the executive side, he will do his utmost to serve the people of the state of West Bengal. Now, the challenge I have is, the government wants me to go to a place chosen by them. Sir, an ordinary Indian citizen can go anywhere in the country. If you put that to a governor, that can't be countenanced. That ravages my oath. I cannot take a dictate from anyone where I will go in the state. Two, they want me to meet persons sanctified by them. That can't be countenanced.
So do they stop you if you're meeting someone else?
No, sir. Things are much worse. A senior minister says, you are a tourist. Am I? Am I one? So I tell them, no, I am not a tourist. Then the second senior cabinet minister takes the field. So far, 12 have taken the field. And then 13th has been the Honorable Chief Minister. But I'll come to that later on. He says, sir, you are a tourist because you are not invited. Sir, in such kind of a situation, but trust me, I have enormous patience. I'm required to be patient. My spine is like tempered steel. I will bend it 20 times. I will persevere. I will love to have a dialogue, deliberation. Under the Constitution, the Chief Minister is required to brief me. It's a constitutional mandate. In more than 5 months, this state has seen a severe cyclone Bulbul. We have seen agitation on road by the Chief Minister. She has agitated on issues that are policy matters. We have had blasts. We have had all kinds of violence in educational institutions. We have had tracks being removed, railway stations being burnt, and the governor has not been briefed even once. What has happened to me is, I tell the speaker I am coming to the assembly, and the gate is locked. What a shame to me. I get inputs from my global friends. Excellency, is democracy functioning in the state of West Bengal? I lose my sleep on 5th December. I take up the challenge to myself. I will have it undone. I get into the job which you must have done behind the scenes and managed to be in the assembly on 12th of December. But can you ever countenance a governor going to the assembly after notifying to the speaker, and this is what is happening?
Finding the doors locked.
Not only that, when I entered through the other gate, it was deathly silence. If a foreign army has really devastated the assembly, they had locked the gates. I get into some of the rooms. I tell them, take it easy, don't bother. As governor, I have to be their guardian. I go to Kolkata University, notifying the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor's room is locked. There is no one to attend to me. Sir, they will know it on 11th October. We had Puja Carnival. The best talent is Bengalis have displayed. Their theme, their passion, their jest, their creativity, most contemporaneous in the world. Modern themes, even the world will not match them. But the governor is blacked out for more than 4.5 hours. Media coverage was controlled by the state. 4.5 hours. The Honorable Chief Minister was in a grandiose palace. I was in a makeshift arrangement. Sir, khoon ki good pi. I thought things will change. I kept quiet. But when the Chief Minister came to see me, for a few seconds, because I had to leave, I told her, and I'm revealing it to you, your people have done a great job. Our people have done a great job. But you have to do a lot of explaining. What you have done is much worse than emergency. But then I thought, it's too early, let me forget about it. 5 days thereafter.
But did you say this to her or not?
To her.
To her you said it?
To her.
Yes.
Absolutely, sir. 5 days thereafter, one fine morning, I read in 5 newspapers, governor was extremely delighted. Sir, I could not have been delighted. My basic fundamental rights being violated. I am to protect the Indian Constitution. And can you imagine, sir? I got messages, are you attending the function? Because I was kept away from the screen. I don't love media projection. You know it more than I do. Too much of media projection can really destroy you. But when this happened, I was a worried man. I now should react. My silence will be misunderstood. Then I said it was worse than emergency. How can this be done? And you will not believe it, sir. When my view was obstructed by people who ought not to be there, I sent a message to a senior police officer. He said, not our arrangement, is cultural department. Where in the land of culture, you have no place on earth as cultured as the state of West Bengal. They ravage the culture qua their governor. And that doesn't answer. I am the constitutional head. Jagdeep Dhankhar can bear any insult. Jagdeep Dhankhar can ignore several things. He can be subservient. But can Shekhar Gupta, the journalist, be spineless? As an individual, he can be. The moment he becomes spineless as a journalist, sir, you will not be able to see yourself in your mirror. वो कहते हैं ना कि आपका आईना आपसे आपकी पहचान पूछ लेगा. What happened to me was exactly this on Constitution Day. First they planned, and for the first time of the CUF is knowing it, they planned that we will not call the governor on the Constitution Day. And they wanted to invite a former governor. The former governor called me, sir, I am coming. I said, your call. Then he said, are you invited? I said, not so far. Then he said, should I go? No, sir. That call you will have to take. I will not decide what you should be doing. I could have so decided if I was not the governor. Take a call at your level. He declined. Then on 26th of November, I was invited. I was in Delhi. I made a request to the speaker, can you slight adjust the time? Because I had scheduled a Constitution Day program at Raj Bhavan, as was the practice at Raj Bhavan. An invite to that effect had been sent to the Honorable Chief Minister weeks ago. He said, no, sir, it can't be done. Can you imagine it? A speaker talking to the governor the way this. I said, fine. एक खून की घुट और पी लो. 3 o'clock the function started. I was kept in a queue at number 6. Those preceding me, former Speaker of Lok Sabha, 2 former governors, a former Chief Election Commissioner, a former Chief Justice. Sir, media kept quiet. Media is having only one narrative. I am at loggerheads with the government. Am I? Did I lock the gate of the assembly? Did I keep myself at number 6? Did I lock the office of the Calcutta University Vice Chancellor? Did I keep emergency kind of situation for me? And much more is happening. I have written number of letters to the Honorable Chief Minister. The last one also I have written. She has no time for the governor.
So what have you written in the last one?
Sir, it will not be fair for me to reveal all that I have written to the Honorable Chief Minister.
Little bit.
All that I have written to the Honorable Chief Minister. I have said out of respect for her, I would not reveal. But I have said things are beyond Constitution to an extent that now we must deliberate. We must discuss. We are in a democratic land. We are governed by rule of law and Constitution. I am open to any kind of discussion. Maybe I am, in your estimate, done something which you feel bad about. I'll discuss. But you will have a lot to answer about it.
Sir, in all these days, खून के घूंट पीते पीते, have you ever reached out for the Constitution and made a fresh study of Article 356?
No, sir. I don't lose hope. I believe in optimism. I will never go to that level. And I don't think a man like me who has devoted 40 years in legal profession, 30 years as senior advocate, to give up so easily. I have hope. I am sure they can't continue too long by acting in this direction. And every time, Shekharji, I don't take to media. I take to media in the 4th stage. First, I flag the issue informally. Like, you have seen what happened to Antuleji in the cement scandal. When I saw on the television, in the print media, government funds being used by way of advertisement, long advertisements on television channels and huge advertisements on print media, government funds. The Chief Minister flanked by the Chief Secretary, the DGP, Commissioner of Police and senior functionaries. And the theme is No Citizen Amendment Act, which means you are using government funds to challenge, to propagate an agitation against law that has validly emanated from Indian Parliament after participatory discussion. I flag it. It has no impact. I write to her. And then I go to public. Because my job under Article 159 is I had to protect Indian Constitution, and she was violating it. The matter thereafter went to the court. The court has stayed it in a blanket manner. I would not like to say more about it. But mind you, how can that be done? And not a small amount. It runs into crores and crores. That cannot be done. If the Chief Minister has taken an oath as Chief Minister, which means I will act as per the Constitution. How can she be on the street in an agitation?
But on that, she's not the only one.
No, sir, I am concerned with my state. In the state of West Bengal, my oath doesn't say I have to protect Indian Constitution beyond state of West Bengal. And why I said logically, it had an impact. One of the senior most parliamentarians of the ruling party tweeted, she is on the street in an agitation, not as Chief Minister. So my point was vindicated, but as TMC Supremo. Then they don't end there. The Secretary General, who is a senior minister, he wrote to me as Secretary General of the ruling party, writing to me in detail that no, she is not in the agitation as Chief Minister. She is as President of the TMC. So my point is vindicated. I wrote back to them and there has been no response thereafter. Did you take an oath of Chief Minister subject to your role as TMC President? Or has Jagdeep Dhankhar taken oath under Article 159 subject to some other assignment which he might do? No, sir. Examine the issue in sublimity. It has potential to create situations that can really put our democratic fabric in peril. That cannot be countenanced.
So before I put my question, let me ask you, while you are feeling so aggrieved as the governor of the state, why this general perception that you are the BJP chief minister that the state never had?
Sir, it looks good. I have seen in judgments many a times, Shekharji, DK has really fired a salvo, and the judges have noticed. To begin with, the argument was extremely attractive. But when little examined, it collapsed. Sir, it collapses. You will have to substantiate by smallest step which this governor has taken, which can even remotely indicate. For example, if I went to Malda, Murshidabad, it was at the invite of Congress people. If I went to Siliguri, I met the veteran communist leader who had been minister for 18 years. The maximum programs I have attended are of Congress and communist. And I give audience to everyone. But you will be surprised. My problems as Chancellor. Whenever I meet a Vice Chancellor who is little indecorum, I said congratulations. Chancellors in the state of West Bengal are sitting on a dharna along with agitators of a political party, along with the minister, and you want governor and chancellor to ignore it. A chancellor cannot attend a convocation not because the students do not want it, but because some employees associated with the ruling party, less than 50, block him. No FIR. You do something to the chief minister. FIR is registered. Sir, and I continue to suffer. But those who are giving this pain to me do not know the capacity that I have. पर सर एक स्टेज के बाद तो रुई भी नहीं दबती है, कभी दबा कर देखिए, नहीं देखिए.
We saw a very interesting picture the other day. You were with the Prime Minister as a tarmac, and I have never seen the Prime Minister so happy. And what do you do here that makes him so happy?
Sir, I find for the first time somebody is giving me credit for making someone else happy. If I have to make someone happy, it has to be Mamata Banerjee. I am working so hard to get Mamata from Mamata ji. So you can take it a situation that in that direction I am still working for it. And trust me, if you read the statements of 11 ministers of Mamata ji, शेखर जी वो तो कह चुके हैं कि तो पागल है मंत्री और इनको जू में जाना चाहिए.
जू में
कह दिया सर, ये क्या क्या कह दिया है मैं आपको बताऊंगा.
अलीपुर वाले में तो हालत खराब है वैसे भी.
नहीं सर, हालत कहाँ खराब है वो तो ठीक की जा सकती है, पर सरकार सड़क पर रहेगी तो नवारा में क्या होगा. आई वेंट टू 2 places. I'll tell you. I wrote to 2 district magistrates that I am coming and I would like to interact with the local representatives. Now, sir, it is for the representative to respond or not to respond. Normally, governor would send a communication. Only a day before my visit, and look at, sir, what a synchronization. Both the district magistrates write identical letters. They are in 2 separate districts. Identical letters, comma, full stop being same. That we cannot proceed further with your request till we get sanction from the Kolkata, Navana. Then the next line is more significant. Sanction cannot come because Honorable Chief Minister is in North Bengal and senior officials are with her. Sir, this governor till now is yet to see a district magistrate during his visits. He is yet to see an SP.
You mean district magistrates and SPs avoid you when you make your visits?
If I don't see them and they are supposed to be there, that's the only way. Yesterday I had to indicate a vice chancellor was to give convocation address and I was to preside at a private university function. And the vice chancellor had taken it. I said something must be wrong with me. Wherever I go, people take it. I must correct myself. If you will see a program, you can be rest assured. The boycott of the governor by the government could not have been more complete. And this surely is not a sensible governance. 25th December was birth anniversary of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Bharat Ratan, Prime Minister of this country for 3 terms, a statesman, loved by all. And Mamata ji was in her government and he had a critical role to play in the political welfare of Mamata ji. I decided on 27th November that a portrait of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji should be there in Raj Bhavan. On 27th, I wrote to the Honorable Chief Minister that you are most eminently suited to unveil that portrait. A good reason. I cannot carry the baggage of yesterday today. I have to look ahead, how to tie strings, how to move forward. And invite was sent to everyone concerned on the official side. There was no word. But I thought politicians are known to spring surprise. You have seen many of them. So I had to wait till the end when she did not come. I had to unveil the portrait myself. Anyone in the country would have felt proud to unveil that portrait. Sir, this kind of boycott, what does that indicate? Sir, we are living in times here. I keep on telling my friends in media, I am a very media friendly man. I am extremely accessible to media. I know I can be officious. And given the position I hold, things happen when I give appointment only. As an individual, I am different, but in the position, I can be little different. I don't avoid media because I must connect with them. They will find some kind of a way out. But I fear the day, and I am telling one of the very senior most journalists who has seen all shades, I fear the day when media will be in fear. And I cannot say we are not in fear today here. And why? Read the papers. Sir, we need fearless, independent media. Without that, democracy cannot survive with comfort. What I am telling you is understatement. People of the state of West Bengal have to test fair, free, fearless elections where you are not visited with consequences of voting in a particular manner. I can tell them there are people who generation after generation may not have even had the right to vote. They had it on paper. Did they exercise it?
They were not allowed to.
Sir, just engage in some due diligence, you will know it. I am on a mission. I want to succeed. Why should the state of West Bengal be known for political violence? Not only during elections. I have seen situations. I am a trained lawyer. At least till 30th of July. A suicide is converted into a murder when the body may be having 20 bullets. Can you imagine?
Oh, you mean a murder is converted into suicide?
Absolutely, any number of them. It is one state where even the top bureaucrats cannot freely connect with the governor. And if they do, by mistake, they are made to pay the price of it.
Well, at least.
Sir, I put it to everyone, I am subject to correction. I am subject to correction, let anyone point out to me. And when I say so, I will tell you the most painful moment of my life. I am studying it. I will have to take exemplary step in that direction. The Honorable Prime Minister was here. On one occasion, and Mr. Shekhar Gupta is to know it for the first time. I have not reacted about it anywhere else. In one function, the Honorable Chief Minister was with the Honorable Prime Minister. After the Honorable Chief Minister left, he had to face wrath of some people. And they put it in a way that Didi go and Modi go. This is what they did. What's he reacted? What could have I done? वो हवाई जहाज से आए, हेलीकॉप्टर से आए, जल से चले गए, सड़क पर नहीं आए. I am the constitutional head. How dare a chief minister speak so about a prime minister of the country that she would have dealt with him differently if he had come by road? So this can't be countenanced. We are in democracy. I know the agitation which took place and the kind of sleep people lost. When I said Chief Secretary and DGP must see me, they did see me after a couple of days. I had to put my point very clearly.
What response did you get from them?
As a matter of fact, they are very nice people. But when command is in the hands of one, nothing can be done. So can you ever explain me, if you were the governor, how would you have reacted if the assembly gate was locked? If the vice chancellor had locked her office? If you were blacked out for the entire period? If you had not been given your staff? And the shocking part of it is, everyone is following the same line. The speaker suspends assembly, there is no business because governor has not approved the bills. Number one, ask any speaker, sir, you have access to all of them. Is it his job to create work for the government? It is the government that brings work to the assembly, number one. Number two, there are two bills pending with me. The Honorable Chief Minister has reacted. One is a lynching bill. Now, I get a representation in writing and the delegation comes to me, leader of the opposition, a very senior, respected leader of the Communist Party. And mind you, I have respect for him and he has criticized me on occasions and I take the criticism in the right spirit. I correct myself. And there were 5 senior MLAs. They said, sir, what you signed, that bill was not put in the assembly in the first instance. It's a procedural error. I am required to analyze it. I sent a communication to them immediately. Please give me status report. They said, sir, not our case. Okay, whose case? Get from there. Ultimately, they said a mistake has occurred. Fine. Why? It occurred on account of something known as optical illusion. I put my office on the job. Please find out what the hell is the optical illusion. When the office failed, we wrote to them, enlighten us. Then I said, I will have to get into the proceedings of the assembly. So that's the only way. Unrevised proceedings are sent to me. Now, sir, I can't act on unrevised proceedings. There is one gentleman, Mr. Shekhar Gupta, you never know when he might put in print that there is a governor, claims to be a senior advocate, but uses unrevised proceedings to take a final judgmental view. So I said, send me the final ones.
Proceedings.
They said, treat these as final. And while sending treat these as final, there is another thing very interesting. That is, that though some members have sent their corrections, not sent to me, but you can take them as final. I write to them again. I can take it final if I have authority to take it final. Someone who has the authority to take it as final should take them as final and convey to me. Sir, what I am facing, I will have to write books after books.
I think
They don't read Indian Constitution. They don't read rules of business. They don't read even rules of the assembly. Ultimately, when SC/ST Commission, they want to say, governor has really done that. I said, on 25th or 26th November, you take a decision. You send the file to me on Saturday evening. I deal it on the very first working day. And I ask only one question to the secretary. You have written to fulfill the commitment of the people, made to the people. I said, where is the commitment? Who made the commitment? At what platform? When was it made? Answer has not come so far. And the Honorable Chief Minister has taken a floor against me. He says, why should Governor Sahib be bothered about money? We have enough of it. I know she doesn't have. Because if you don't take assistance from the central government and the money is used the way it is being used, difficulties are there. But then I was amazed why people around her don't inform her. I get only one bill to give my consent, sir. That is known as money bill. I don't give consent for any other bill other than money bill. Other bills can be introduced. They come to me only after they are approved by the assembly. So I tell the media that somebody need to inform the Honorable Chief Minister that
She doesn't have to send it to me.
No, that under Article 207, I have to look into that aspect also. Secondly, Indian Constitution has Article 338 and 338 capital A about these commissions. They are functional. If you want to help, I have no issue. But please answer the question. Now, so far they have not answered. So what I do? Again, sir, I have friends in the media who will say, why don't you read the Constitution? So I send a message to the Speaker under Article 175(2). He says, no, you can't. You can't send message to me. Then I invite his attention to a rule. Sir, I am faced with a wall. If the Governor Chancellor wants to have meeting with the Vice Chancellors and the Minister says, not required. In writing, will you countenance, sir? Let me give you a jolt of your life which you may never had, sir. I'll read one rule they have. It will shake you, sir. And it will shake entire educationist community in the country and the world. What they say, sir. And the Honorable Minister has told me, sir, ये rule हमने आपको control करने के लिए लाए हैं. सर मैं control होने वाला हूँ क्या? मैं control होता हूँ.
दिखता तो नहीं है, हाँ.
नहीं सर, नहीं. मैं control होता हूँ Indian Constitution से. मैं control होता हूँ कानून से. मैं इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की मुट्ठी में हूँ. मेरी स्क्रिप्ट कोई नहीं लिखता सर. वो किसी और स्क्रिप्ट पर काम करते होंगे. उनकी कहीं स्क्रिप्ट लिखी जाती होगी. मेरी स्क्रिप्ट फाउंडिंग फादर्स ने लिख दी है. आई विल नॉट क्रॉस दैट लिमिट and I will live up to it. But I'll read that rule, sir. I'll read only a small part of it. And it will really, you can never imagine it, sir. Because you have seen people being unfair, but not to that degree. You have seen people being irrational, but not to that level. It says, sir, every communication proposed to be made by the Chancellor, that is me, sir, to any state-aided university shall be routed through the department. One, sir, why? I can't communicate with the Vice Chancellor direct, but doesn't matter, sir. You will say, overlook it. Nothing wrong, Mr. Dhankhar. You have to route it only. You keep the government in loop. And action on such communication, what I send them, action shall be taken once the same is endorsed. Sir, ये क्या हो रहा है? ये संविधान के ऊपर तांडव नृत्य हो रहा है. This has to end. It is my job, but you can trust me. I will not throw my hands in despair. I will continue working on that.
You know, yesterday, over this, the government's refusal to attend that meeting on NPR in Delhi, I think the Chief Minister has dared you to dismiss her if you want to. You know, taking up the challenge?
Sir, the Honorable Chief Minister on 11 occasions, Shekhar ji on 11 occasions, has indicated to the media that the governor is running parallel government. Sir, you will accuse me that I run a parallel government in which I can't help myself, even with the staff. If I were running a parallel government, she would have known, the district magistrate would have been where, how my staff would have been there, what have been the position with respect to the assembly gate or the universities or projection during a public function. How can a chief minister as powerful, as graceful, as knowledgeable as Mamata Banerjee accuse the governor of running parallel government? And the best part is no one asked her. All this, no one has asked the speaker why the gate was locked. No one has asked the minister or anyone why VC's office was locked. No one has asked anyone why governor was blacked out from coverage on 11th October. No one asked. I am the one who is prepared to take off the cuff any question.
Sir, one more off the cuff.
Yes, sir. Off the cuff, one question. I am Professor Alok Kumar, and I live in Lake Gardens. I go to Rabindra Sarovar in the morning for walk. And one day I go over there in the morning, and there I found suddenly my governor coming from the other side. So I raised my hand and I hollered to him. And I said, "Good morning, sir." And he said, "Good morning." I went back, we all liked it. My family, everybody liked it, sir. But when I see the TV in the evening, and I see so many things which you described here just now, I feel sad for my governor. That why should he be like this, and you know what is happening? So what is your view on this, sir?
It's a very good question. It has not come up for the first time. One, I have to go to every place. So I started not with Rabindra Sarovar. I started with Victoria Memorial first. Then I went to Rabindra Sarovar. Then I went to Botanical Garden. Now I don't control TV, sir. I don't control. What I said, if he has
You don't, I mean, you don't control TV in Kolkata, you might say, in West Bengal. But somebody controls it elsewhere.
could be, sir. It is never a wise step to disagree with a rational thought. But I would have been happy if the professor had reacted. What was wrong that I said? Number one. Number two, I am scrupulously adhering to the protocol system. I never speak anything while I am inside either Victoria Memorial on a morning walk or Rabindra Sarovar or Botanical Garden. But I do not have a fleet of ministers like Mamtaji who can act as loose cannons. If you give me one loose cannon, sir, that will take care of all of them. But I have to handle it myself. If anyone can point out, indicating very firmly, including the professor, sir, this statement of yours I take exception to, I will respond. But my right to communicate to the media, if someone is having a second opinion, I would have nothing to say. But trust me, let anyone, I am repeating it, let anyone indicate that this governor has done something, he needs to revisit his thoughts about it. That's where I stand, sir.
Coming back to your objection to the state government spending money on advertisements against CAA, your Kerala counterpart has said the same thing, Arif Mohammad Khan. I don't know whether governors work in tandem,
Sir,
but I'm just wondering.
I don't have counterparts anywhere. And I can tell you, we have a resourceful chief minister, she doesn't have also counterparts. We both are unique. The only person who has worked to get us together is a Congress person. He is a leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha. He says, we both are in the same circus as jokers. So I have congratulated him that at least he has put me and Mamtaji together. The moment someone will put me and Mamtaji together for some time, trust me, the way they choose Pope, we would have chosen a very good path for us to negotiate state of West Bengal to prosperity, growth, peace, happiness,
holy
and a
smoke coming
non-violent
out,
situation.
No, all I'm driving at is you and Kerala governor talk alike whenever it comes to the state governments. I mean, how is it that the governors of opposition ruled states feel so aggrieved? It's not the same with the...
So, DK, let me tell you, can you please, I'm pleading with you and everyone here because that will help me. Can you give me some instance where I have committed a wrong? I have given you more than a dozen wrongs which are indigestible, which are destructive of constitutional fabric, which are ravaging our democratic fabric. which are a shame on any system of working. Trust me, shame on system of any working. We had a governors conference, Shekhar ji, 50th governors conference. I was leading a group on ease of governance. 9 governors were part of it. So, of course, this rule says to the contrary, that I have to route my communication through the state. We were cutting down that. We had an occasion, 50th governors conference. It was my first governors conference. I interacted with a lot of them. When this conference was planned, the same day I wrote a letter to the Honorable Chief Minister. I said, Madam, it's a great occasion. If you want some issues to be flagged, I am foot soldier. I will take up those issues in earnestness with the powers that be in Delhi, and you can trust me. She doesn't respond. After 14 days or thereabout, I sent another communication that issues must be flagged to me because I will also consider them. On 22nd, while I was in Delhi, she sent me a communication. Shekhar ji, I read out the communication as such. As such, can you have a more dependent governor? I am friend of the government in Raj Bhavan. They are mistaking a rope for a snake. Number 1. Number 2, going by the reports that the governor is being denied use of helicopter while ministers and others are using it, someone wanted to raise, I said no. Issue of West Bengal cannot be raised by anyone, including me. I don't raise it outside. It's my in-house method. I will resolve it. A problem may appear to be Himalayan kind of a problem. I don't give up hope easily. If I am talking the way I am talking, all this is to put things in affirmative mode so that we have some way out. When I went to coffee house, it is not that I was just talking for the sake of media to put it in some kind of a box. I said I appealed to the Honorable Chief Minister to have a cup of tea with me at any place of her choice, Nabana or Kali Ghat or anywhere else, date of her place, because without dialogue, without deliberation, without communication, we are inflicting injustice on the people of state of West Bengal. At coffee house, I said, this is a great place. Why not have coffee with Mamta ji? I said so. But my heart bleeds. You know it, I am a farmer. I come from a farming community. I studied in a village school. Sir, why 70 lakhs farmers of the state of West Bengal, who should have got 4,000 crores, are not getting it? Because it gets into somebody's head. I will not send the information. The 100% money comes from Delhi. And you expect governor to observe silence? Farmers are suffering. They are indebted. Such an amount is not being availed by us. Why?
PM Kisan Yojana.
Yes. But sir, 100% is coming. The share of state of West Bengal is more than 4,000 crores as on date. When I became a governor, within 3 months, I got 3,000 applications for medical assistance. Now Modi ji says my Ayushman Bharat is excellent. Mamta ji says mine is also excellent. Then why applications to me? Even my Raj Bhavan is virtually running on credit. So let me tell you. Yes, he is running on credit. They think they can use the governor. Sir, as a matter of fact, आप एक्सक्यूज किए जा सकते हैं क्या? मैं कैसे करूंगा सर? मेरे को तो आपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पावर और दे रखा है. That is what is happening.
So just one small correction.
You said from your side or my side?
For you.
Okay.
When you say you went to a village school, I think you went to Sadiq school, no?
No, but before that, it's an
Sir, before that, I went to a village school. We had no road, we had no electricity, and I traveled more than 4 kilometers to study in class 6. getting into Sainik school on merit scholarship
No.
was a blessing for me.
Why I'm bringing the Sainik school here is, I mean, your critics tell us that, you kind of revealed a state secret, saying that we possess nuclear weapons during Mahabharata days.
I believe in it, sir. I believe in it. You are right. I don't have to know. I respect everyone. Some people have taken to Twitter and otherwise. But sir, plane was there only around 1910 or 11. But you read Ramayana. I cannot side with those who filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court saying Ram was a mythological figure. I don't agree. Get into our history, sir. It's a very rich history. But if people talk about Upanishads without having seen them, that will be a tough task.
But sir, to
I
say nuclear weapons then when the
Sir,
period is not
sir,
fixed,
sir,
that was imagination of writers.
Shekharji, I'll tell you some sloks I'll send you. And these sloks are thousands of years old. They say the same thing. This has been studied. It was not off the cuff observation by me. This was a carefully studied situation by me. And as a matter of fact, one thing you will agree. Udan Khatola was there. Take it mythological.
Sir,
Take it
imagination mein tha. haan.
Take it mythological. I have had very sound critics on this. I respect those people. But then, it is not necessary for me to agree.
वो ठीक है सर, लेकिन अगर if nuclear weapons were used at any
Sir,
point,
sir,
they would still be radiation.
Sir, those nuclear weapons, believe in the technique we had, was a very different one.
Without radiation, no fallout.
No. The point is, sir, let me tell you, the point is, saying nuclear is one part of it. That the energy, the nuclear energy, was in fact used at that point of time. And Shekhar Gupta ji, after getting inputs from the concerned people, with an open mind, would surely conclude that what I have indicated is borne out historically.
Sir, not historically. It's born out.
Sir, we disagree on that.
It's born out from scriptures.
No.
Historically or archaeologically, we can't even say the period we are talking about. That's the truth.
All I say is, we can,
Baki faith hai.
no, we can agree to disagree on that. We can agree.
But you stand by this.
No, why I say, there are not many people who believe in the thought process I have indicated. There are many that believe in your thought process also. That is why I have been saying in the state of West Bengal, we must learn to disagree with grace. So that's what Vivekananda ji said. And that is, we had on 12th January, his birth anniversary. He said so. I thought the whole day what I should be doing early morning, and then I used 5 sentences by him. One was this. But sir, I am saying something else. Over the time we have spent, does it not occur to you that why no question has ever been asked from the other side on all these things that have been happening for the first time to a governor and media everywhere in Delhi and here uses one narrative. Governor is at loggerheads.
So we have come to talk to you.
Sir, I respect that. It's a matter of moment for me.
A lot of my friends, I mean, आपका तो इतना terror है कि a lot of my friends, particularly the corporate world, call to say भाई वो क्या करे थोड़ा सा वो.
नहीं सर बताऊं, मैं बताऊं सर, कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड की जो बात करते हो ना सर, उनके कान राबड़ी से चिपके हुए हैं, मुझसे ज्यादा आप जानते हैं, ठीक है ना. और आई हैव ग्रेट रेस्पेक्ट फॉर द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड हियर. They are very nice people, sir. They are genius. They decide very rightly whether to meet the governor or not to meet the governor, sir. They decide very rightly. I'm not on that, sir.
Sir, आपके चक्कर में मैं भी पर्सनल नॉन ग्राटा हो गया.
Sir, what can be a greater certification for me that a journalist whom people wanted to make person grata on issues on which he believed in a particular thought has become person non grata because of this governor?
Absolutely, you are to blame, sir.
Sir, I take the blame.
Well, myself, Shubhajit Naskar, and I wear 2 deadly badges actually. First is I'm an ex-JNU. and JNU alumni. And second is, I'm an assistant professor in the Department of International Relations of Jadavpur University. So you are also the chancellor of my university. The first question to you, a very pointed question, sir. How do you view the critical bend of mind, in a way, the dissent of the students in the higher education system? Because you have always been at loggerheads with my students. And for a matter of fact, let me tell you that my Vice Chancellor, Professor Suranjan Das, on many, many occasions, he has been gherowed and locked up in his office of the Vice Chancellor to address the grievances of the students. But again, he came out and he always rose to the occasion and addressed back to the students and embraced them time and again. But then why this is happening with you? Do you think that the dissent is not being properly addressed by you? That's number one. And number two, as the governor of my state, you would know that in many of the districts, there has been beating for not chanting Jai Sri Ram by, of course, the minority community. And I have never found a tweet, I have been a regular tweeter, I have never found you tweeting on this and telling people that calm down. You can't force anyone under the constitutional moralities that somebody has to chant forcefully Jai Sri Ram.
Get your
Right.
point. Get
So
your
please
point.
address
One,
to this, sir.
you are wearing two very distinguished badges, and I respect both. When I went to JNU on a human rights function, I said, I am in the best place. Winds of change must blow. I have been telling loud and clear, and my dear friend will listen to me. Universities in the state of West Bengal, I have read only a rule, are being destroyed brick by brick. They are in captivity. They are in political cage to an extent that you did not raise your voice when 3 or 4 vice chancellors sat on a dharna. And your friend with whom I am in touch directly, when Babul Supriya, a union minister, was suffering not at the hands of students, but at the hands of outside elements, he was the first person I got in touch with. And Shekharji, he told, sir, everything will be okay. I said, fine. After 10 minutes, he says, problem resolved. I congratulated him. But on television, the scene was very different. The constitutional functionary was being made to suffer, and at the hands of outside elements. I said, what has happened? Uznika, sir, I have been injured. That was my priority. I said, if you are injured, I'll first come to see you, then go to the university. He said, after a minute's gap, it is hypertension. Sir, hypertension can be a serious matter. So I said, get admitted to a good hospital. He went to the hospital. I called the second person in command, Pro Vice Chancellor. He also had hypertension, sir. It can happen. I have no issue, sir. 2 people can fall ill at the same time. They went. Sir, I talked to the third Pro Vice Chancellor and the registrar. They said, sir, we are in the hospital taking care of them. So there was no one to connect with the students. I am the governor. I am the chancellor. If it was my daughter or Shekhar's relative or somebody else's, we would have rushed. I therefore should rush immediately. But before that, I must exhaust all avenues that possibly can be there in the law situation. My friend will little carefully listen to that. I direct my secretary to get in touch with the DGP. That you must do something about it. So nothing happens. I talk to the Home Secretary. Nothing happens. I personally talk to the Chief Secretary that we are caught in a blind. We are caught in an unseemly situation. We must find a way out. In fairness to the man, he is no more in the office at the moment. He said, sir, I'll take instructions immediately. I can appreciate when a state is being governed the way it is at the moment. You have to take instructions. When nothing happens, I call the Honorable Chief Minister. She was in Delhi. You are knowing it now, off the cuff. I called her once. Phone was not picked, but in fairness to her, and always she responds immediately. Immediately I give respect to her on that count without qualification. I told her, ma'am, something terrible is happening here. You need to do something about it. She said, I am not aware. I said, ma'am, how can that be so? It's happening for several hours. This is unimaginable that a chief minister has no idea what is happening. It can lead to situations that can ruin Jadavpur for all times to come. It is our flagship university. Exactly that. She said, give me 10 minutes. I called her after 15 minutes. She said something happened in Jadavpur where she could not help herself. I said, madam, I am not Mamta Banerjee, I am Jagdeep Dhankhar. It happened with someone else. I am not. 2011 is not 2019. I will take risk. Connect with the students. If I don't connect, who is going to connect with them? I went to Jadavpur. She called me, please don't go. I said, madam, I have no ego. I will retrace my steps the moment something is favorably happening. But if I don't go, then it can't be a situation. Nero was fiddling and Rome was burning, governor was sitting cozily in Raj Bhavan and Jadavpur was burning. How can that happen? I go there, sir. You know who helped us? Students. But there was a race to take credit and they said, police helped us out. I said, name the policeman. I would like to congratulate them. You must have seen that movie Rustam. वो टायर पंक्चर हो गया, उसने कहा कौन सा टायर पंक्चर हो गया बताओ, तो चारों ने एडमिट कर लिया कि नहीं गलती हो गई. They couldn't name. Why? I had connected with the students for 90 minutes just 2 days before. Why? I'll tell you. Jadavpur is one of the finest universities we have ever had. DRDO people told me, we are hugely benefiting out of Jadavpur. Sir, you know, 30 years ago I was elected to parliament from Jhunjhunu. When a BITS Pilani alumni calls me, he wants to use the lab of Jadavpur. I get in touch with the Vice Chancellor. Facility was made available to him. But what a proud moment for me. I said, you don't have that facility there? No, sir, the best is available in Jadavpur. I secured it. I cannot afford to be a situation where these institutions are not built in a day or two or in a decade. They have a huge history. When Jadavpur, they say the governor went there, the chancellor, to attend the court for after 40 years. I said, what does the law say? My friend will remember it. And I'll connect with him otherwise also because I'll be inspired. I go to the court meeting. I spend more than 4 hours, end up having lunch in the office of the Vice Chancellor. There I connect with the entire court members, all staff members, employees unions, and all student unions, including that of the ruling party. Sir, I don't know why some people have reservations. I can never ever contemplate of disgracing the people who respect me, people who love me, that this governor could be dictated by anyone else. No one in Delhi holding any position whatsoever can dictate me to take a course of action that doesn't suit my conscience or my rational approach. I will never ever betray my oath. I cannot leave my friends, well-wishers, mentors and family members in that situation that they ever point out that someone known to them acted in a manner which was shameless. I will never do that.
In the back, Madhuparna.
Hello, sir. This is Madhuparna. I'm a journalist working with ThePrint. So, sir, I have 3 questions. One, since you have assumed office, total how many letters you have written to the Chief Minister and for how many you have got response? 2, we have been hearing so many issues between you and the government, you and the ministers, so many, like every day there is something. So, do you really have any legal provision to, stop this kind of thing? Because after each and every issue, mostly you say or we do understand that you were insulted. So, is there any legal provision for you other than, of course, looking into Article 356? For a governor to talk to the government or stop these kind of things. 3, sir, when you came, this one I'm asking you because I keep on hearing from people. So when you actually came and started reacting to issues, so people were actually saying, okay, we have now got a governor who can stand up to something. But now, like 5-6 years down the line, 6 months down the line, people are saying, oh, he talks too much, and he, comments on too many things. Do you really think that perhaps, probably, you will be losing your relevance, or maybe, you are putting your chair at stake, for commenting on too many things, like I don't think any governor, at least in Bengal, has done. Thank you, sir.
One, can you name a governor with whom the Honorable Chief Minister has not fought a bitter battle? Any governor so far, number one. I have written many letters to the Honorable Chief Minister. Each of them is a justified letter.
Sir, many means dozens, scores.
I'll tell you. Very intelligent question, sir. She knows more about happenings in Raj Bhavan than anyone else.
That's why she's our correspondent here.
One, sir, we have a traditional puja in Raj Bhavan. That puja is being organized for last 50 years. That is organized by the employees of Raj Bhavan. I appeared there formally. And customarily, all governors have been giving some donation to that puja. My predecessor gave 50,000. I had ceased to be a senior advocate recently, so I gave 80,000. And I went. My secretary, who is an IS officer, he has to attend a program where the Honorable Chief Minister also is there. So he took leave and went there. While the Honorable Chief Minister was coming out of the program, in the company of a senior minister, journalists, bureaucrats, DGPs, she spotted my secretary and told her, how can the governor hold a puja, parallel puja? He was taken aback and then said, tell the governor, how can he do it? Sir, do I wear kid gloves? Do I need somebody's permission? But it was employees' puja for last 50 years. She should know better. And then she says, inform the governor. So the senior IS officer had to inform me. I immediately sent a message to him, indicate time, when it was conveyed, indicate the persons who were around. It was indicated that Firad Hakim was there, journalists were there, members from the press club were there, bureaucrats were there, it was in public view. To give an image, like I say, who is Mr. Shekhar Gupta in his absence? Then, sir, Shekhar Gupta's rational approach will have to be there to tell you, sir, why you said so. You may have good reason. Then also I thought she might have said it. It may be a USP. Ignore it. It appeared in a news item also. Then I wrote a letter to her. So she said one thing, why the governor is sending WhatsApp messages? Now the bureaucrat had to inform me. Otherwise he would be not doing his duty. Since it appeared in medium, sir, the question is very well placed. I have never talked to the press. I have reacted. Why I reacted? If I don't react, my silence will be taken as admission.
So sir, how many letters have you written?
I am coming to that. So this letter I wrote, that you said so, number one. You talked of some WhatsApp message. To react in a sensible manner, I would appreciate if you can send me inputs. what objection precisely you had. She did not. Secondly, during the Constitution Day after I had spoken, she used a song for me. "तू चीज बड़ी मस्त मस्त है."
वो तो बहुत फ्लैटरिंग है सर।
अब नहीं है सर, ये मुझे लगता है कि वो खुद के बारे में कह रही थी, पर चूंकि मेरे बारे में कहा, I thought it fit to ignore it because she got it expunged immediately. It is for the first time perhaps that a leader is making a speech and asking the speaker expunge kar do. You know it more than I do. But it appeared in media and so many people started calling me. So I sent her 2 media reports and said, would you like to react? She said, come in media, I'm not denied. And I write a letter to the Honorable Speaker also, that let me have proceedings of that day. Fair enough, sir. And also the expense part. Sir, as constitutional head and under Article 168, I am part of the assembly before anyone else. The speaker is there only as a member. For some days the speaker doesn't respond. Busy. Then he says, we share it only with the reporter. So laughable situations, number one. Then I have written to the Honorable Chief Minister only to the extent there has been, in my assessment, a different approach which is not permitted by the Constitution.
So, sir, dozens of letters, scores of letters, about a dozen letters.
No, including the advertisement, which has been stated by the High Court.
So how many letters have you
No,
written?
against her being on his street as Chief Minister.
Right.
I indicated all this.
Right. So, sir, the next question, are you looking at anything beyond 350? You have the question.
No, I'm coming to that. Now, she has a valid question that people think. Perception of the people is one part of it which is very important. Perception matters. But I talk only to the extent it is essential. I talk after delay. I don't immediately react in the hope that perhaps some amend will be made. Now, if some people think it is weakness, then sir, there has to be a day of calling, number one. Number two, why think of those powers which governor has and will use them? They keep on talking it. She is on a narrative. One, I am running parallel government and the governor may dismiss. Ma'am, you will have to do your duty. You can't get away. You will have to answer tough questions to the people also. And if we have a meeting, I am ready to take all questions on my chest. But I'll have to find out from her on what premise she chose to act in the manner she did after being an experienced person in politics, a long political background, and a chief minister for a second term. That is something which has to be there. I have always appealed, engage in soul searching. Ultimately, sir, adversarial approach does not lead us anywhere. Argument does not lead us anywhere. It has to lead in the right direction only through dialogue.
Sir, may I? My name is Jagdeep Ghosh.
Then the lady,
Sorry.
after you, the lady, no, you finish it. You can pass it on here.
Sir, what you said is true that, this is not the first time there has been an adversarial relationship between a governor and a chief minister, whether in West Bengal or elsewhere. But don't you think this is now, from whatever you described for so long, almost an hour or more, it's come to a war of attrition? And more importantly, it has become very personal.
I think just keep the question to that.
Yeah,
because he has to go. So
No, I'm just keeping it at that. So is that the way forward, is what I'm asking between, can it become such a personal battle? She is known to have, even with the Prime Minister, things are taken on a personal level.
I think if you
Thank
close
you,
the
sir.
question,
Sorry.
yes.
It's a good question. So the time that I have taken here, response will have to be by Mr. Shekhar Gupta. But I love to spend time with him. And
No,
my
we'll
next
have to spend time with you. I hope.
Uh,
I'm quite happy if it
my-
goes on, but your staff
but-
is getting a little bit impatient.
But sir, as a governor, I will have to put things in order. We have two roles well defined. Her role is to act in accordance with the constitution, loud and clear it is written there. The moment she goes outside it, I come into play. That constitution must be protected and enforced. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing nothing more than that. Sir, if I keep in mind what perception will be generated.
But has it become personal?
No, sir, it can never be.
No.
I'll tell you why not personal. You cannot have a better person than Mamata Banerjee in personal dealings. My entire family is beholden to her. She is absolutely an amazing personal person. I greatly respect her. She has enormous respect for my wife. Perhaps if there be a chance of voting, she would ever think in terms of voting for Mamataji.
Never guess your spouse's voting preference.
So never.
Never.
Sir, I know.
Even when you are standing in election.
Sir, I know, sir. You know, state of Odisha, a man who had been member parliament for 7-8 terms, was the chief minister, had his own wife against him as a candidate. Sir, you know it. Therefore, and sir, to face any woman is a tough challenge. To face Mamataji, who doesn't give Mamata to me, is a tougher challenge. But I am known to take up challenges. Then, sir, Mamataji's courtesy is never lacking. I sometimes think, maybe she is rightly hurt. I sometimes think, I have conveyed everything to her in the first meeting. Ma'am, please spare me, don't fight with me. Because I am your friend. I will act as per my conscience. I told her in the very first meeting, I cannot be dictated by anyone, whomsoever he or she may be, in the state of West Bengal or in Delhi. I am saying this to Mr. Shekhar Gupta. I met the Honorable Prime Minister for the first time after he became Prime Minister in 2014, only after becoming Governor. I never sought a meeting with him. Not that I have made some great sacrifice in taking this assignment, but I feel proud to be citizen of this great country. If I have taken a job upon myself, when I started, I'll tell you, I was having last appearance in the Honorable Supreme Court. Distinguished lawyers were against me in that case. It came, I have a tough challenge in the state of West Bengal. I had not come to West Bengal.
Right.
Then I got letters from friends, former attorney generals, who said, you are a tougher challenge. So everyone told me I was challenged. And when I met Mamataji, I told Mamataji, let us prove them wrong together. But somehow or the other, she is acting on a script. Now, sir, the script writers can ruin a good actor also. A very good. How can Mamataji act on a script? She is an actor herself. She is a director herself. Those who write a script need to think about it. Neither Mamataji can act on a script, nor I can. The script for both of us is Indian Constitution.
I think the last question, because his staff wants him. We are quite happy to have him stay on. Yes.
A very good evening, sir. I'm from Jadavpur University.
She was the
of
one
which-
who had torn that CA thing there,
Okay,
the convocation.
So taking a cue from the words that you spoke in accordance to Article 159 of the Indian Constitution that says that you are, being the governor, you are entrusted to protect people's interest.
Constitution.
Yeah, Indian Constitution.
The other part has to be done by Mamataji.
It has to be done mutually, actually, I feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, everything has to be done in a mutual way. Now, to allow the process of the governance to function very properly in a smooth way, it's a very basic tenet of a democratic structure. Now, two basic bills are pending at your office, sir. One regarding to SC/ST and the other for the mob lynching. They are essential for people's interest right in the current scenario. Now, how would you see this in case, is it not a vital job for a governor of a state to protect the constitution and the people's rights into that? Second question, to be very specific, sir, one more incident of that of MP Babul Chipra happened at the Jadavpur University campus. You came there to rescue him. of the
I came to connect with you all.
okay. Anyways, like versions, perspectives changes. So anyway, you came there, and then what? But you rescued, according to our perspective, you rescued him, and then but there was no tweet. Subsequently, there was some vandalism by the BJP goons on the university campus. Of the university properties, but there hasn't been any tweets from your behalf. Being the chancellor of my university, I would expect more mamta from you, actually, towards the students. So I think I would love to get a review of what
I
you
will,
think
I
on
will,
that
I
two
will.
regards. Thank you, sir.
Number one, with respect to the two bills, it's a good question. Sir, हाथ जोड़ लिए, मिलेंगे तो पाँव भी पकड़ लूँगा. मैडम एक बार आइए, मैडम को चिट्ठी पर चिट्ठी लिख रहा हूँ कि इनपुट दीजिए. एक का तो ऑप्टिकल इल्यूजन बता ही दिया, उनको कहा कि साहब ऑथेंटिकेटेड भेज दीजिए, वो भेजते ही देख लूँगा. सेकंड स्टेज तो बाद में आएगी. उठाया, अंटायर प्रतिपक्ष ने है. SC/ST के लिए मैंने क्या किया? सबसे पहले मैंने कहा कि देखो SC/ST के मामले में लोकसभा, राज्यसभा, गृह मंत्री, प्रधानमंत्री, फिर यहाँ पर स्पीकर साहब, फिर ममता जी सब कह चुकी हैं. तो मैंने कहा क्या करूँ? तो मैंने मेरा पक्ष क्रोनोलॉजिकली लिखकर आर्टिकल 175(2) में स्पीकर को भेज दिया और पश्चिम बंगाल के हर मेंबर पार्लियामेंट को मैंने वो भेज दिया. चूंकि व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पर उनको ले लिया था तो कुछ ने तुरंत ही व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप से अपने आप को अलग कर लिया, पर तब तक मिल गया. बाकियों को मेल पर भेज दिया, पोस्ट पर भेज दिया. तब लेटेस्ट ये है कि जब स्टेलमेट हो गया, इट्स माई जो आई एम नॉट अ रबर स्टैम्प सर, आई एम नॉट अ पोस्ट ऑफिस, आई विल अप्लाई माई माइंड. Without application of mind, I will not clear a bill. The two questions I asked from the secretary, she has not responded, and not only not responded, taken no step thereafter. Then I wrote to the chief secretary, then to the chief minister. Chief minister ने जब नहीं किया, तो मैंने कहा मुझे सब नेताओं की मीटिंग बुलानी चाहिए दो बिल के ऊपर कि आइए. I am grateful that the Communist Party leaders and Congress Party leaders, they say, we can't come on 17th, we will come on 21st. They will come. I'll discuss with them. ममता जी के यहाँ से सबसे पहले तो एक बयान आया मेरा छपते, सर दे शूट आउट ऑफ द माउथ. मतलब वो कहते हैं ना शूट एट साइट कि टीएमसी विल नॉट पार्टिसिपेट. अरे भी मैंने टीएमसी को नहीं बुलाया है, मैं लेजिस्लेचर की बात कर रहा हूँ. लेजिस्लेचर नॉट टीएमसी, लेजिस्लेचर है लीडर ऑफ द हाउस. जैसे लोकसभा में नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, वहाँ ममता जी हैं, तो मेरी चिट्ठी ममता जी के लिए है. तो ममता जी का आया कि वो प्रीऑक्यूपाइड है. उनके यहाँ से एक फ़ोन आया कि 17 को वो नहीं आ पाएंगे. उनके एक जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी ने मेरे यहाँ स्टाफ को कहा कि नहीं आएंगे. उसी दिन शेखर जी, आपको पहली बार बता रहा हूँ, मैंने तुरंत चिट्ठी लिखी, आई अप्रिशिएट यू माइट बी हैविंग कमिटमेंट्स ऑन 17, बट लुकिंग टू द सीरियसनेस ऑफ द इश्यू, लुकिंग टू द फैक्ट कि आपके यहाँ से कोई इनपुट मेरे बार बार कहने के बाद नहीं आ रहा है, एंड लुकिंग टू द सीरियसनेस ऑफ द इश्यू कि पब्लिक डोमेन में आप लगातार बोलती जा रही हैं जो एंटीनेबल प्रेमिस है, यू विल स्पेयर टाइम एट योर अर्लीस्ट. चूंकि वो ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, सेकेंड टाइम में उनको डेट नहीं दी, सिर्फ ये कहा मैडम प्लीज मेक इट कन्वीनियंट एट द अर्लीस्ट ओकेजन so that we can have way forward approach.
Did you get a response?
नहीं सर, नहीं सर, ना, ब्लैक होल है. दबाना में एक ब्लैक होल है, मैडम के भी एक ब्लैक होल है. वो कुछ चिट्ठियां रिस्पॉन्ड करती हैं, ये नहीं की हैं, ये नहीं करेंगे तो मैं देखूंगा. अब मेरा फॉल्ट कहाँ है? अ गवर्नर कैन हैव इनपुट. फिर सर कुछ बिल्स के बारे में बात हुई, देखिए किसी भी बिल के बारे में नहीं कर रहे थे, तो मैंने मेरे ऑफिस को कहा यू प्लीज एंगेज इन ड्यू डिलिजेंस. बोला आदमी कम है तो आई विल वर्क ओवरनाइट. तो जितने मैं मेरे ड्यू डिलिजेंस पर पास कर सकता था वो मैंने किए. यू विल नेवर इमेजिन, रात के 1-1 बजे तक एक सिंपल चीज उनसे मांग ली कि जिस एक्ट को रिपील कर रहे हो उसकी कॉपी तो भेज दो. क्यों भेज दो? उसके कुछ प्रोविजंस आपने बचा रखे. फेयर इनफ, मैं कल कर दूंगा, तो आप लोग मुझे बख्शने वाले नहीं हो. आप कहोगे अपने आप को समझता तो एक इतना बड़ा
Supreme Court
वकील,
lawyer है,
इतना बड़ा वकील है और इतनी सिंपल चीज को नहीं देखा। फिर भी मैंने कर करा कर, गूगल से मिल जाती है, ऑथेंटिकेटेड मिल जाती है, सब कर दिया। ये 2 अटक गए। ये क्यों 2 अटक गए? ऑप्टिकल इल्यूजन से दूर हुआ तो असेंबली प्रोसीडिंग्स अटक गई। असेंबली प्रोसीडिंग्स आई तो मैंने मांगी अंग्रेजी में, वो नहीं थी। पर सेम डे रिस्पॉन्ड करता हूं। शेखर जी, सेम डे माय फ्रेंड हैज रेज्ड अ गुड क्वेश्चन। जादवपुर का है, एक्चुअली मैं तो जादवपुर के अंदर पढ़ाई करना चाहता हूं। आई वांट टू स्टूडेंट ऑफ जादवपुर। आई एम अ फ्रेंड ऑफ जादवपुर। मतलब मेरे से ज्यादा जादवपुर का कोई, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, अब बताइए कितना मेरे को पसरना, आप बता दीजिए या लोग बता दिए, उतना और पसर लूंगा। बट आई कैन नॉट बी सबसर्विएंट, आई कैन नॉट बी पोस्ट ऑफिस, I cannot be rubber stamp either of the government here or government elsewhere.
I think, no, sir. The gentleman there has been raising his hand for a long time. I will take the last question and we'll have to close it.
Good evening, sir. My name is.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Ujan, and I am a student of Jadavpur University.
Shekhar has been unkind to other universities in the state of West Bengal, and there are a number of them.
Matpana is from Calcutta University, sir.
So my question is that when you were mentioning about the incident of Minister Babul Supriyo, you said that you wanted to maintain connect with your students, and that's why you went there. Now my question is that right now in Jadavpur University, as well as across several campuses in West Bengal, there are rampant protests against the CAA and the NRC. Now, as the chancellor, and as you say, as you wanted to maintain connect with your student, why have you not made any constructive attempt to reach out to the students to learn why they are protesting?
I think that question is understood, yes.
Good question, very good question. Sir, on half a dozen occasions, I have gone public on this issue. 1, Citizen Amendment Act is a law validly passed by Indian Parliament. Am I right, sir? Passed after participatory mechanism. Indian Constitution provides a way out to every dispute. Street is not the answer according to me. I have an illustration, sir. Narendra Modi government came, Judicial Accountability Bill. How many members of Parliament supported it, sir?
All of them did.
More than 500.
Yes.
What did the Supreme Court do?
Struck it down, yes.
It has also been challenged there. So I tell them we have to have a rational approach. We will be doing great dishonest to our founding fathers. I gone public with it.
Sir, founders. These days you don't say founding fathers. There were women also. So founders.
I don't say founding fathers.
You
Sir,
should say founders now.
No, sir, but I get your point, sir. But I have been saying so for a number of years.
Yes,
and,
but life has to change now.
And it is there in several judgments of the Supreme Court, sir.
Right.
So it will take me a while to get away from that. But sir, the point I am making is, Indian Constitution has every way out. Secondly, I am a worried man. Suppose there is a dispute between the central government and the state government. Indian Constitution provides, Article 131. Take recourse to it. To take to street, use that language, मरते दम तक, जीवित हूं तब तक. Sir, it's a tough challenge. You मेरी वाली कुर्सी पर आप आकर बैठिए. आपका रिएक्शन तो इतना खतरनाक होता, जो सोच नहीं सकते. This man has kept calm to a level which Shekhar Gupta would not have kept even in the very first week, sir. ये language होती है क्या, sir? This can't be the language of a person who has taken oath under the Constitution. जब तक जीवित हूँ, आखिरी खून की बूंद रहेगी, मेरी डेड बॉडी के ऊपर ही हो पाएगा. Sir, you can't be in that rhetoric while having that position.
Sir, what is politics without rhetoric, and that too in Bengal?
Sir, politics is fine.
Bengal is the home of rhetoric.
Sir, Bengal is home of culture. राम मोहन रॉय जी से डाउन द लाइन देखिए सर, बंकिम चंद्र चटर्जी को देख लीजिए, रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर जी को देख लीजिए, किसी को भी देख लीजिए सर, फ्रीडम फाइटर्स में देख लीजिए. We have in state of West Bengal something which is unrivaled anywhere else. हमारे यहाँ वायलेंस का क्या काम सर? हमारे यहाँ इस लैंग्वेज का क्या काम? This approach is foreign to culture of state of West Bengal.
So one last question from me. Last time we met, I think it was September, you were talking about the flight of capital from West Bengal and how the law and order situation has to be reversed to bring industries here.
Sir, let me tell you, I love Bengali food. And Bengali food is loved most when you go to a Bengali family. I go there. I avail the opportunity many a times. मैं पूछता हूँ बच्चे कहाँ हैं? ये तो विदेश में है या मुंबई में है या बेंगलोर में है या कहीं और है. तो मैंने सोचा and I got in touch with some economists also. और मैंने नीति आयोग के डॉक्टर राजीव से भी बात की. You can be in touch with him because he was assisting me in that governors conference. वो हमारा assisting टीम थी नीति आयोग की. मैंने कहा कि we have to find a solution. तो solution क्या है? तो सब लोगों से बात कर कर कहा कि do you know something about tourism? मैंने कहा 30-40 देशों में घूमने के बाद तो कुछ न कुछ ज्ञान मेरे जैसे किसान आदमी को भी हो जाता है. Then I reached one conclusion that Singapore, New Zealand, Switzerland, France and Italy उनको इधर डाल दो एक पर्दे में तो जैसे मूवी में कहा जाता है ना कि पश्चिम बंगाल का पर्दा भारी है. We have enormous here. Everything आप देखिए. तो मेरा था कि कुछ विजन होना चाहिए. टूरिज्म इधर होता है तो सब कुछ होगा. सर पर विजन से पहले दीघा में जो कर दिया करिश्मा वो खर्चे का इन्वेस्टमेंट ही नहीं आ रहा है. मेरे को तो नहीं दिख रहा है. जब मैंने ये कहा तो ऐसे लगा अपराध हो गया. मैंने सब चैम्बर वालों को कहा, कुछ लोग यहाँ बैठे भी हैं, डर लगता है सर इनको, डर. और शोले में कहा था जो डर गया वो मर गया. डर लगता है सर, डर. ये डर मैंने अधिकारी की आंखों में देखा है, उद्योगपति की आंखों में देखा है, साधारण आदमी की आंखों में देखा है. और मेरा प्रयास रहेगा ये डर खत्म होना चाहिए. इट इज नॉट माई कंसर्न कौन जीतता है कौन हारता है. आई एम नॉट कंसर्न विद इट. आई वॉन्ट फेयर फ्री इलेक्शंस हैं. डर नहीं लगना चाहिए. डर लगेगा डेमोक्रेसी में नहीं है सर. और डर लगता है और आपको महसूस होता है कि नहीं लगता है, सर कान पकड़कर माफी मांगूंगा आपसे.
वो उसकी नौबत नहीं आएगी. लेकिन बिफोर वी फिनिश इट, आई मीन वी आर रियली फिनिशिंग इट. ओके, गो अहेड. No, sir.
Hello, this is Razan Sari. I am the ex-student of Jamia Millia Islamia. I am here for some work. So the issues is like that, whatever the Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee did with Your Excellency as the central government doing with the every citizen of this country, like this is my belief. And I just want to know that there is a agitation across the country, not in Jamia, but in the Jadavpur, in the JNU, and everywhere where there is like the student protesting against the CA. So what is your own views, not as a governor of this state, but as an ex-Supreme Court lawyer on these issues? Thank you.
It's a very good question, sir. I have no options. As long as I am governor, I can have opinion only as governor. Beyond that, that's not possible. But I can give you one small illustration, sir. I'll tell you. I was the one who drafted, or part of it, on 13th August 1990, the Mandal notification.
Right.
I was on it, because I was a senior advocate in the Council of Ministers then also. Sir, there was so much agitation about it, that I was a minister in waiting for a visiting president. And we could not take him to Qutub Minar, because at Ashram Chowk, we had very unfortunate scenes.
Yes, self-immolation.
In the whole country, we are finding one thing now. Give us reservation. Give us reservation. And everyone has forgotten that. This is for the person to think about it, that what a view is there. You know it now. Everywhere we are having, in various high courts, only one case. Reservation de do. He is very fond of asking about Jat reservation. कई जगह मराठा रिजर्वेशन है, गुजर रिजर्वेशन है. No one is relegating to the earlier situation. Why reservation? So I am not having a view on that. As long as I am holding this position, I have to maintain a chaste approach. My role is within the parameters of the Constitution, no more, no less.
Sir, absolutely the last question, and we have to close there. I will not ask any question. Please go ahead.
Your Excellency, you have talked about the perception. And
Sir, tell us your name.
Sitaram Sharma. Sir, there is a perception that there is a running battle going on between the governor and the chief minister, which is not in the interest of the state, which is very close to your heart. Sir, I just want to know, according to you, what is the way out? Thank you.
सीताराम जी, आपका नाम बहुत बड़ा है। रामायण के बाद कोई पूछे कि सीता कौन थी, मैं कह रहा हूं मैं किसी से नहीं लड़ रहा हूं महाराज। उनसे बात कीजिए जो मेरे से लड़ रहे हैं और पूरी ताकत के साथ लड़ रहे हैं और 24 घंटे लड़ रहे हैं और आपको जानकारी है और आप उनके संपर्क में भी हैं। उनसे कहिए कि ये तो बताइए कि इस गवर्नर ने क्या अपराध किया है, कहाँ लक्ष्मण रेखा पार कर दी है, और कुछ टफ क्वेश्चन पूछिए। पर एक चीज मुझे पता है, उनसे कोई नहीं पूछेगा, मुझे ही पूछना पड़ेगा। हाथ जोड़कर मैं ही पूछूंगा और कोई नहीं पूछेगा। Thank you, sir.
I think on that note, we bring this conversation to an end. It's been a brilliant conversation. Also, I can tell you, I have dealt with many politicians and many governors, never found a governor as candid as this one. So, sir, thank you very much for giving us time, and thank you very much for watching. And this was our first time in Kolkata, and I promise you we'll be back soon enough and again and again.
And I have picked up some friends, those from Jadavpur and Jamia Millia Institute. I would love to interact them little more and invite them to Raj Bhavan.
Bilkul.
And sir, professors have to teach me. No, let me tell you, sir, you are ill-informed. The largest number of professors who visited Raj Bhavan are in the last 5 years. The largest number of ex-vice chancellors have been there. Don't be that in agitated mode, sir. You will find a man very receptive. Have you ever made a request? 1 second. Have you ever made a request for appointment? Make one, sir. And you will find it. This governor decides all issues the very same day. But, sir, I don't issue invites. I issued one. I will name the gentleman, Om Prakash. He was talking in court little more. I said, let us have a cup of tea. He is yet to respond. So I don't want to embarrass your position, sir. If I invite a professor, you never know what may happen to him or her. I don't want to do that. But if you send a mail to me, and not only that, some send the mail and then regret also. So I have, Shekharji, last 2 files, my programs cancelled, and persons who failed to keep an appointment. Sir, I am not that good a gentleman as you are. Then I take a time in granting them second appointment only after a while.